Damn. That's right. It's Tuesday night. Welcome to the club. What club? The Diamond Club.
Oh!
Get on over here, baby.
That's
Why
right.
don't you saddle on up to Daddy?
Well,
That's a weird thing for me to say. That's right. It's absurdist night here at the Diamond Club. What's a weird thing you would say?
I'd say...
I suck dolphin dick. That's a weird thing to say.
It's a weird thing to say.
But you could say that tonight at the Diamond Club.
You could if you wanted to, I do
Welcome
believe.
to the Diamond Club. I hunt minds. What does that even mean?
Mind.
Is it mines? Am I a mind hunter like that in Netflix show? That's right. I call it the end Netflix because they have a big end at the beginning of it. I'm very confused.
Okay. When you see Mindhunter, like the Netflix show reference, do you, like I do, in your head go, Mindhunter?
It does sound like it. Hey, I've recently become infatuated with the actor Bobby Cannavale. Was he
He's
in
so good.
Mindhunter as well?
I don't think he was.
He was in Homecoming.
Right.
And then he showed up in Joker.
And he was in Mr. Robot last season.
He's got one of those faces that I'm convinced I've seen a million times before. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong actor because the face I just saw did not look like
He was
the
in
guy I
Mr.
was thinking
Robot.
of.
He did a voice in BoJack. He was in Homecoming. Master of None.
Yeah, he was the hero in Homecoming, right?
No, he was the CEO. He was like the executive guy.
Oh no, I have the wrong name pegged to the guy. Who was the good guy? You know what's funny? Okay, you're right. He was the dickhole in Homecoming.
Are you thinking about the soldier guy?
No, I'm thinking of the guy who cracked the case, the guy who wouldn't let go of
the cop.
Yeah, and he was in Joker. I spent all this time thinking his name was Bobby Cannavale because I saw him in the credits.
Shea Whigham?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I never would have got that. All right, hold on. Let's do a deep dive on the career of Shea Whigham because
Sure.
I've loved him and didn't even know that I've loved him for so long.
I think
and I've never known his name.
Born January 1969. Ooh, a
Tallahassee, Florida. All right,
Florida.
fellow Florida fan. Florida man.
Florida man
His
saves the day.
obituary says, Florida man perishes after brief career in Hollywood.
Let's see. Started off in 1997 episode of Ghost Stories, starring role in the 2000 film Tigerland. What is it's like a war drama.
Okay.
Okay. He was in Submerged. He was in Rush, RUS/H.
Okay, wait here. Go down to his filmography. I want to know how many of these I recognize. Like,
All right, so we'll start.
Okay, of love and fan. Let's play a game called Ever Heard of It? So you just say yes, no.
Okay.
Of Love and Fantasy.
No.
Tigerland.
No.
Bad Company.
Ooh, I know of things called no.
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 Not the Anthony Hopkins Chris Rock vehicle. Bad Company, the 2002 American Czech action comedy thriller directed by Joel Schumacher. We're not thinking of the same Bad Company in this case.
No, we're not. All the Real Girls?
All the Real Girls? Nope.
Oh, that's
nope.
a titty. That's
I got
titty.
nothing. Out of This World, Water.
I've
Water
consumed
sounds
water.
familiar.
It doesn't have a Wikipedia.
Man of the House. Wait, Lords of Dogtown, that was a skater thing, right?
Yes.
Nailed it.
He was
Is he the cop that's like he's like you kids always skating in these pools. These pools are meant for swimming. What are you doing skating in the pools? They're the swimming pools. They're not called skating pools. It's me, the cop from the Joker. That'll come out in 14 years.
Maybe. I mean, skater movies have to have cops. I think that's the law.
God, if I was a young Hollywood film writer, I would write the weirdest one-off liners just in the hopes that each one is a seed that might blossom into a hilarious, surprising, true thing. Like if so a nobody actor comes in and he seems pretty good and he's only an extra with one line, I would just tag on like, "Bring back that golden plate, you hooligan. Someday I'll play the president." And it's like, why did he say that? And then 15 years later, he plays the president.
There's Fast and Furious.
Psychic Driving, Wrist Cutters, A Love Story, First
Jesus.
Snow, South of Heaven, Pride and Glory, Splinter. Splinter sounds familiar.
Splinter is a 2008 American horror film from Toby Wilkins.
Nope.
No idea.
He starred.
Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see. Maybe Justin knows about our friend Shea Whigham. Justin, Robert Young, you are on the line. Do you know a Shea Whigham?
Justin, do you know Shea Whigham?
Shea Whigham, you say?
Do you know Shea Whigham?
No, I don't know if I'm familiar
Do
with
you
the
know
work.
Deshay?
Oh, God, no.
Has that already not aged well in the 1 year and 3 months since it was a ubiquitous meme that my kids were quoting?
You could have told me that meme was 2 weeks old, and I would have fucking believed you.
Is this?
Oh, the Do You Know the Way one that originated on Vive VR.
The Ugandan Knuckles.
Yeah.
Oh,
meme.
Gondon Knuckles. Gotcha. Yeah.
Do you know Deshay?
Oh, is Bonnie joining us?
I'm gonna expect so. I'll go ahead and double check. But Shea Whigham?
Shea Whigham, I believe. So we're talking about, I guess he's the cop, or he's a cop in Joker. He is the bureaucrat in Homecoming, the Amazon.
He's the good guy in Homecoming, the one who cracks the case.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Jesus! No, I'm unfamiliar.
Show his face, and I bet he'll recognize.
I think this is like
him.
not
That
even.
man's face. I want to see his good old his face.
Yeah, let me see if I can find a better, because this photo doesn't look right. He doesn't look old enough in this
What,
photo.
he looks too skinny in that photo.
Right,
There we
because
go.
he was a bigger, older guy.
There we
right?
go. The one upper right. There we go. That one.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the one. That's the Shea Whigham I
hold
know.
on, whoa. Is that Gavin Belson?
No. It looks like him, but that's not Gavin Belson.
Come who Gavin Belson is.
He's one of those that guys, right? That you've seen in a bunch of movies, and we're trying to figure out which movies we've seen him in.
A lot of Silicon Valley. That motherfucker looks like Gavin Belson.
Gavin Belson is played by Matt Ross.
But like twins, those two.
But
Put 'em
also
sep-
also never seen together in the same room. That kind of thing going on.
I mean, come on, those cheeks.
You know what? I
Those
can't.
cheeks?
I can't even sell this bit.
Shea Whigham didn't have a cheek if he opened his butthole. He has no cheek.
You motherfucker! Don't sandbag my theory. All right, yeah, but no, yeah, because I get the classic that guy-ness of Shea.
Yeah. So we were going through his filmography, and so far we found outside of Lords of Dogtown. Hold on, let me check the science computer. Beep, boop, 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 boop. 0 movies we've ever heard of. Let's keep going.
So we get down here a little bit. There's
Fast and Furious.
Agent Michael Stasiak.
Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans. Wait a minute, hold on. Now I'm thinking about it. Was he maybe in
He's a machete.
the detective show on HBO? The detective show.
True
Yeah,
Detective.
the one that you got half of the title for.
The detective show.
No.
No,
Oh
he's
wait,
not.
in television. Yes, he was Joel Theriot.
That's where I saw him first, and I've seen him ever since because he was one of the guys mocking old Woody Harrelson, I think, because Russ was already an alcoholic and out of it. Totally nailed it. Yeah, thank you, Lobro.
In the future version.
Yeah, they're all like, what's the matter? Wish you were tending bar in the 80s again? Yeah. You were dumb in those days.
Yeah, I wonder if this narrative has yet more to wind. Anyway, we'll just laugh.
Oh my goodness.
So I want to see the rest of this filmography. I'm really into this now.
Now this is just films. It does look like the TV side we do know more.
Of. I'm joining N Media Res here, so fill me in.
Basically, first of all, I kept
don't remember
seeing
how we
his
started on this.
name. At some point, only half paying attention, I pegged him because his name was always in the credits, as I always saw the name Bobby Cannavale.
Oh, right. You thought he was Bobby Cannavale.
Right. I mislodged the name, and I discovered that his name is Shea Whigham. And he's a that guy who has a very extensive back catalog, and I assumed because Bobby Cannavale was also a name that I saw a lot. Oh, that name I see a lot must also be that guy I see a lot, and I conflated the two. And so now I want to get to know, I want to reintroduce for the first time my
Shea
new favorite cop archetype.
Okay. Hold on. And this is not a contest, but if we were to create a straw poll, who looks more like Shea Whigham, the dude who plays Gavin Belsom or Bobby Cannavale, who would win?
Yeah,
Who would win?
The
We'll
dude
make
who
a
plays
poll,
who?
Gavin Belsom from Silicon Valley. The
Oh,
ass-
yeah. No, see, I'm out of it. Oh, that's all right. That was our initial argument right at the top of this.
So who looks most like Galvin Bell?
Shea Weber. No,
Shea
Weber.
Whigham. Shea Whigham is
Oh, God damn it. Shea Weber's a hockey player.
Shea Whigham is the actor, that guy in question.
Yeah.
Also, I hope he would. Is being that guy like a term of? Is that a bad thing?
I think they prefer the term character actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess character actor would be one of them. But also I looked at that filmography and I just thought, man, I bet you that dude has a nice house.
Yeah, this guy gets work.
You're not kidding, man.
Oh my God, he was in the the Netflix Death Note movie?
Kong Skull Island. I saw him again in there. This is why.
By the way, count all the times that he's got major motion pictures in the same year.
Yeah,
Those are
dude.
all, yeah.
Baby. Those are extensions on the deck. Those are like, we should get a pool this year. Like that is for a responsible.
Wait, he was in Vice?
That's right. He was Wayne Vincent.
I don't know who that is.
He was
Wayne
Oh
Vincent.
shit! Oh, yeah, he was in First Man. We watched him together on First Man. He was Gus Grissom.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I remember.
Obviously.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Okay, so this is just films. We got to look at the TV too, right? He was in ER for 3 episodes. He was in Numbers, Medium. Oh, he was in. He was a big role on Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire. Oh yeah. Wait, what was he? Who did he play on Boardwalk Empire?
He played Elias Eli Thompson.
That's not the cop though, because the cop never caught the beer baron.
I ain't never seen no Boardwalk Empire, so you're gonna put that to yourself.
All
What
right.
if it was this man?
But if it was, it'd look a little.
Okay,
something
this guy looks a lot like
this.
Gavin
Yes,
Belson. So
dude, I'm telling you, he's that guy.
By the way, they're all fucking taking money that Gary Sinise left on the floor.
he was in Fargo. He was Mo in Fargo.
Which one? 2017.
Wait a minute, hold on. Quick question, Gary Sinise, is he in a band right now?
Almost positively, right? Like,
I mean, I would imagine. And if so, is that what Jeremy Renner's doing? Is just following the playbook?
Oh no! You know that like Renner flips and renovates houses.
Oh, TIL.
Go- Put that in your Google machine. Jeremy Renner, for real, when he's not acting, buys, renovates, and sells houses and is not shy about it.
Dude, I bet he does it for cash too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, which is boss. Like, ain't no leverage happening. Just like, hold on, let me reach into my pocket, hold this for about 40 minutes. Let me just fix this up, give that back to me, and I'm gonna take 30 more from this guy. Thanks, bye.
Fucking like, all right. So I saw one.
Look at
in
this
like
glow up.
Destiny. Yeah, look at that. This is what that man does. When
So
you
he
buy
buys Chernobyl and makes it Venice.
That's right. That is all of modern architecture, I believe, summed up in one sentence.
dude, how many versions of that fountain do you think Renner went through?
0. I think he had put together a good team.
One shot kill. He's like, yep, perfect fountain.
I
Because
mean,
you know, that, like if he's gonna be flipping it, the fountain's got to be on point. Like he has to have signed off on the fountain.
No, like at some point you reduce it to a science and your team gets it. Like he walks in and he has apprentices where he's like, look, you want a thing that looks good the moment you show up, a thing that makes you feel breathless when you open a door, a functional blank. Always do these, don't do these. Just do that and don't waste my time with anything that's not those things. Pretty quick, his team gets it, or they have their throat slit. At which point he.
You think Jeremy Renner is a
No,
very
he doesn't
badass.
slit throats. He pays other people to slit their throats. Come on, man. He's a
course.
professional.
Of course.
Yeah, that's true. That's a deep and true.
A deep cut
Deep and
through
deep
the
cut.
neck
Of somebody who defies the Renner,
exactly.
who falls afoul of the Ren Dog.
The Ren Dog.
Yeah, no, that is Jeremy Renner's thing. But I guess he's also in a band.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Is he in a
certainly
band
that's
or
what
does he
the
just
Jeep
sing?
advertisements. I assume that he got paid 20 cents on the dollar of what he's actually worth for the guarantee of being portrayed as a band performer in every Jeep video.
Wait, no, didn't they used his song in that ad, right?
You know what? I'll bet they paid him $1, and mainly he was just really happy they were using that song.
I mean, no, I think I think it was buy my song, make my song be played in homes around the country, and I'll throw in the Jeremy Renner for free.
You know what's funny is I just realized I've never heard the song because I've only seen the ad, because the only way I ever see ads is while I'm at a bar playing Hearthstone listening to a podcast. And I see pretty visuals on the screen.
And you see a Jeep and you're like, oh, Jeep, I own a Jeep. And then Jeremy Renner's there and he's like, oh, look at that. Jeremy Renner's driving a Jeep just like me. I'm basically Jeremy Renner.
Fun fact, this is a true thing. I was like, man, that's weird. I remember him doing the Jeep Wave, but I also remember that when we did an ad for Toyota for the all-new RAV4 Hybrid, they were very insistent that our hands always be at 10 and 2. How did they reconcile that? And then the next time the ad came up, I was just like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh. And then I realized they got around it. Just two fingers up like, hey, bro. Hey, yo. Which, not going to lie, I started counting after that when I'm getting the Jeep Wave, how many of them are like, and it's like, I don't know if it was a thing that they reflected or it became a thing because of that ad.
It did look very cash in the Jeep ad, because I would have never known it if you had not told me about it. And that was the first time that there was like a big like ad that I was paying attention to. But I gotta say, you know where that money goes when you hire Jeremy Renner, because like that shit fucking looked cool as hell.
I've gotten judgy on my Jeep Waves lately. First of all,
I thought the Jeep Life was all about peace, love, unity, and respect.
I agree.
Bruh.
I agree. Then these motherfuckers start putting mean eyes on their Jeeps. And all of a sudden, I'm very conflicted about how I feel. Do I wave like, here comes a mean-eyed Jeep. I'm a Jeep. Do I go like, hey, bro, we're part of the cool club together?
Yeah.
Or do I go like...
Yes, you were on the same team.
Yeah, okay, because here's what I'm afraid of. True fact, I am desperately afraid that I'm going to give them the Jeep Wave, and then in my rearview mirror, I'm going to see a Salt Life sticker. Or worse yet, a No Fear. Like, it's going to be, like, there's too many pitfalls, too much danger to it. So instead, I just pretend not to see them.
Hold on, because I'm not living that Jeep life. Justin, I think maybe you might have I know of No Fear as a clothing brand, as some sort of clothing brand. So did you say
It was
Salt
before
Life?
you were born. It was in 1997.
Okay, wow. What was the other one you said? Salt Life?
Hold on, I might have missed that. You said that you've never heard of the No Fear brand?
No, I
And
have.
then-
I know it. I know the No Fear. I don't know the Salt Life brand that you mentioned.
Oh, that's because you're not from Florida.
Or any of the Gulf Coast states.
Yeah, really. I mean, like Salt Life. In fact, I saw somebody put in my Florida friends group chat of like the first Cybertruck in Florida, and it was a raised Cybertruck on gigantic wheels with Salt Life on the back and truck nuts.
I think we do have that image right here.
Oh, that's good.
You know, it's got the air suspension, Justin, so I bet you don't even need to go aftermarket on that.
Yeah.
That comes standard. They don't even ship any other edition to Florida.
Yeah, that's the one. If you're gonna buy one in Miramar, that's it.
Oh.
Ay, 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 ay.
Ah.
Going on, friends.
So what's the stigma against these no fear salt life people? I mean, they're just outdoorsmen like you. They're just out living their best Jeep life. I'm seeing a shake in the audience. I guess I don't know the stigma. Can you educate me?
Yeah, you want to pin me down? Have a bunch of salt life?
Okay,
no
no.
fear.
Oh, no, never
wearing
mind. All
people
right.
corner me in a corner.
No, Brian, you started this. You openly took shots. Finish the shot.
I
You hit
would
the click.
say
You hit the click. Now hit the boom. Come on.
if I was going to guess, I would say that salt life is associated with sort of an aggressive rural fishing lifestyle. The type of folks who will take out a 6-pack on and spend get up at 5 a.m. and go catch some fish and whatnot.
How dare they?
How
dare they
no
have
fear.
a good fun
Well,
night out on the
again,
lake?
it's not the brand itself.
No. I'm sorry. As Brian's lawyer, let me step in here. The issue isn't that they are those people. Some of those people, like fishing enthusiasts, will indeed put a salt life thing on their truck. The biggest salt life people are folks, and this is where it is a cultural thing, because you can't comprehend that would be a dominant form of masculinity. But yet in Florida and in certain Gulf Coast areas and states, that is that is a status symbol of basically like people who want to be parrot heads but don't enjoy or understand music.
Or just aren't
That
old
makes
enough
okay.
to sing along with any of the Margaritaville songs,
So it's basically like, oh, I want to be all of the arrogance of like Aquaman or Namor, but I'm also just a dick face who lives in the suburbs.
Okay, no, whoa, not my words. Those are the words of the host of the brand new podcast, Raise the Dead. If you have a strong opinion, either pro or anti-Trump, just remember who said those words. Not me, the guy who spent all afternoon promoting the podcast Raise the Dead and is now questioning that decision after the controversial take that he just heard live on the air regarding the Salt Life brand.
Well, let me just say this before we get into me thanking Brian profusely for all the work he did on behalf of the podcast today. Salt Life, look, I'm of them. I know them.
Some of my best friends are salt lifers.
I get to use the SL because I am SL.
I have an SL pass. It's just the way I was raised. Look, I have at least 2 friends who have Guy Harvey edition vehicles.
Guy Harvey edition vehicles.
If I Google Guy Harvey, that's not going to be like a porn thing.
No. Guy Harvey, you will recognize the signature. And if you look at the
this website is more than enough to tell me exactly what demographic we were talking about.
Man, Guy
technical
Harvey,
wear. Second on the marquee is technical wear. Okay.
Teleport back 20 years and you'll get
Man,
Nagel.
that motherfucker loves drawing fish. I wish I loved anything like Guy Harvey loves drawing fish. That can't get enough of it. But all right, let's get to the issue at hand. Number 1, open season, folks. If you have been waiting to subscribe to Raise the Dead because you want to be part of the Night Attack movement, now is the time. We are currently sitting at in the top 100 of all of news, which is insane on the Apple Podcast charts. So this is our final push of the evening. This is our strongest live audience. This is the moment that if we want to make it happen, we can make it happen right now. Head on over to your phone, your iPad, your computer, and subscribe via Apple Podcasts if you can. Otherwise, numbers is numbers is numbers. They all count. So subscribe wherever you can to the Raise the Dead podcast.
Should I look at the ranking now, or should we?
Well, bar has been keeping track of it. Although, to be totally honest, and granted, I've been like half distracted the entire day because I've been promoting it on various different things, but I can't figure out how to find the chart.
So they
I
don't-
couldn't either. I
they-
couldn't either. They don't have it where they used to.
Because they move stuff around, and I think news is not one of the top, like the top level categories. The way like history and true crime have become, they rejiggered all this stuff a few months ago. But I'm seeing it. If anybody wants to know the number, I'm seeing it at number 98. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
In fucking 12 hours,
Mhm.
you guys fucking put that in the top 100. I mean, like that right there is a insane ranking, and I can't imagine where it's gonna go after Night Attack.
Can I, Justin, did by any chance, and I'm guessing not because you're busy reading all of the books about the 1960s election, I didn't happen to get you to read The Formula, did I?
No.
The Formula is so good, I'm reading it for a second time.
You're asking about a thing that happened in the last 2 years, then no.
Yeah, okay. So there's a book called The Formula, The Universal Laws of Success, which of course sounds like a grandiose thing that a bullshit artist would be peddling. However, this guy, I listened to an interview with him, and he has the most adorable literal Transylvanian accent. It's very, very thick or whatever. But he talks about his emigration from Transylvania to America and raising his kids. And he did a paper on what are the mistakes in mitigating disaster, and nobody would touch the paper. And much like our much vaunted book, The Diamond Club, almost as a joke, his co-author on the paper said, well, maybe the problem was that you had the word disaster in it. Maybe you should have made it a paper defining the laws of success. And then they both laughed merrily and then paused and then thought. And then The Formula was written, which is fucking amazing. This book is absolutely incredible. First of all, I've talked about this on the Weird Things podcast. He very specifically says, if it's not quantifiable, get out of our face. When we talk about success, we're not talking about the satisfaction of having overcome adversity or of achieving inner peace or anything that can't be measured. If it can't be measured, it doesn't belong here. They define success as recognition by the community of which you are a part. So in scientific circles, did you win the Nobel Prize? Check yes, no. Yeah. In social media circles, how many retweets did you get? In tennis circles, how many championships have you won? How many endorsements have you gotten? All of these measurable things or whatever. Yeah. And he cites one study where, and spoiler alert, he says that, first of all, performance drives success. If you are 1% better than everybody else, you will make 10s, 20s, 30s, 50s, hundreds, thousands of times more money just by being barely better than everybody else. As they put it, success is bounded, performance is bounded, but success is unbounded. Then they go on to the next rule. What about the arts? Because in the arts, there's no objective way to measure art. For example, early in the 20th century, there was an art collective where they said anything goes, do whatever you want. And somebody went out and bought a urinal, titled it The Fountain, signed it, put it in the museum. It was resoundingly rejected. Nobody knows where the original urinal is to this very day. The only thing we have is a photo of the exhibit. And many artists today consider it to be one of the greatest artistic achievements of the 20th century, right? So in that case, there's no objective way to say whether it was good or bad art. Yeah. So the second law that they have is when performance cannot be measured, network effects determine success, because he talks about the relationship between galleries are important because they have an exceptional reputation for getting good quality art in there. Artists become important because of what galleries will show their art. It's a circle. So there's a symbiotic relationship in all this, right? Now, eventually, there's a whole book after this part, but I had to tell you all that to get to this part.
Oh, see, now there are 2 books. The formula can't just be 1 book. Now you got to do it 2 books. Nickel and dime. That's your formula. 5s and 10s. 5s and 10s.
Surprise. Nickel and Dimed is a totally different book about like minimum wage.
So here's the important part. They talk about network effects and the experiment that they ran where they got a whole bunch of people, young people, I don't know, teenagers, early 20s, people who are at a point in their life where nothing's more important than defining themselves through music. It was a study with, I think, 18,000 people in it. And they were essentially, without their knowledge, shuffled into 9 different rooms. There was a control room where all they were given was sort of an iTunes store of independent artists. And they were said, listen to whatever you want. If you like it, you can download it. All you have to do is rate everything. And then, so that was their control group. But each of the other rooms, they were given a live updating Billboard chart of what their peers had rated as up or down, right? And what they found was essentially they had a splinter of 8 different realities where a song that was one of the worst reviewed in one reality was one of the highest reviewed in the other reality because of those early starting network effects, which, by the way, this is the reason that we're encouraging everybody to go to raisethedeadpodcast.com to sign up and get that on the iTunes, because that early momentum really matters. But here's the good news I have for you, Justin. So after figuring out that early network effects had a very outsized effect on stuff. That's why those first few reviews on an Amazon book really, really matter. And he goes in, he talks about how J.K. Rowling wrote under a pseudonym to see if she could make it on her own without her name, and how Stephen King did the same thing. But they tried the experiment where they intentionally reversed it. They basically, whatever was the most popular, they flipped upside down. So the initial condition was what objectively people who had no social influence, those who ranked each song on its own merits, objectively, they flipped it upside down. And what they found was, while an early boost would help a good song get to the top much faster, having that good song all the way down at the bottom, unfairly placed at the very bottom of the charts, did not take. So even if something was, it just took longer for it to rise through the charts and find its place. So yes, there is a benefit to early enthusiasm and reviews and all of that social proof, which is why we are doing that. But on top of that, like, the reverse is not true, because there were experiments. For example, he started, one of the experiments he cited was take a random sampling of Kickstarter things. If he went to half the Kickstarters and gave an initial donation to them, those were like 2 to 3 times more likely to hit their goal, because at least somebody had donated to give that social proof to begin with. Same thing with upvotes and downvotes on Reddit. On upvotes, whatever those early comments are, he would upvote half of them and not upvote the other half. And the ones that were upvoted had a much higher tendency to accrue all the karma. But again, good news, downvoting did nothing to reduce it. If he downvoted, there was a correction, and eventually the good stuff always came to the top. And all of this is to say 2 things. Number 1, we want Justin to achieve success as fast as humanly possible. That's why we're all gathering to rally around his family with a pocket full of shells. But we're also not worried, because the cream rises to the top. And motherfucker, when I think of cream, I think of Justin Robert Young. That motherfucker's nothing but cream. I think about raising the dead. I don't know, wake the dead with all this creaming. Wake the dead with all this cream.
Well, yeah, man. Thank you for explaining, all like how this works, because I'll tell you what. Number 1, the podcast charts are a lot different from the last time that we fucked around with them.
Boy,
I will tell you that.
Who are 2 old men who remember when the charts were softer than they are now?
Holy shit. I knew that I had to revise my expectations of where we were going to go when I was watching a wrestler who I'm a fan of, who just has a new podcast that debuted 2 days ago. And he was like, hey, thank you guys so much for supporting it. We're in the top 10 now. but only if we can make it into the top 1. And this motherfucker is on national television week after week after week after week. In fact, it's 3 of them that are all on national television week after week after week after week. And I'm like, oh, if he is having a hard time getting, leaping over, pardon my take, then that is a far different podcast chart reality. Although it does make the fact that we have like cut through into like the top 100 of news, which is a formative fucking category. Like this.
Do you
want
to know who you beat? Do you know who you're beating out right now? You're beating CNN's impeachment watch. You're beating out Rachel Maddow, just Rachel Maddow.
Oh shit!
Dr.
And the
Phil.
5. Oh man, Rachel Maddow, solo alone. The 5 having the weird ass orgy. Orgy.
That's right.
Both of them eating your ass. How's that taste?
No, political gab fest too, which is still a very, very big thing. So, look, there is. Let me say right now, the fact that we got here is gigantic, and to be totally honest, the charts are there to expand the reach and to make people hopefully understand that something that they have never heard of before is worth value, because that's the biggest thing, is that ultimately we're on episode 1. Brian's heard the entire fucking series. The best shit in this series is not in episode 1. Like I have very rarely, because I've very rarely done anything like this before in my life, where most of everything that I've done that's been successful has been week to week, right? It should like do a good thing. Cool. Well, next week you better do a good thing. I'm in the pole position where I know what's coming out in the next 5 weeks. And I know people are really excited about week 1. Man, if you liked week 1, there's a lot more coming in weeks, in the weeks that come from here, and you guys are really gonna fucking like it. And ultimately the rankings are there so we can get it high enough that somebody, a reporter or something, or we get coverage that says like, oh, look at this new thing, you should all pay attention to it. Like that's why it's there. It's social proof for other people. And I think we've done a fucking fantastic job. And I'm pumped to see where it ends at the end of Night Attack.
So maybe since we're up against the start of the show, I think that there are 2 things that are remarkable. One, number 1, the thing you made. Number 2, the responses that I got to that Twitter feed, and also I have private questions, because I called you before I did what I did, because I wanted to seek permission, and then I did it without permission. So if you don't mind, can we make that first act kind of like
that's fine? Because by the way, do you know when you called me?
I assume you were on the air with something else.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. So let's explore that. I think there's enough there, because I was having anxiety about respecting boundaries and overstepping, because there.
No.
Save it. But like there was a brief moment I was afraid I was transgressing for reasons we'll talk about on the show, and then there were.
Well, if you're gonna save it. If you're gonna save it, save it.
Okay. All right.
Don't tell him to save it if you're not going to save it. Save
it. There are multiple things. Okay. There's a whole thing. I'm going to
go get a drink.
I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah. Don't do this one side saving thing where you tell me everything you're going to say and I can't say the other side.
Hi, Justin. Also, we've got Miss Bonnie Brushwood in the house. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello.
Hey.
I went snooping on Twitter to see what the fuss was about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
'Cause I can't wait.
Well, you don't have to. It's available.
Ooh, that's right.
I've gotten such amazing responses. Like it's been great. Like to my email and on Twitter. What is awesome to see is not only the amazing fucking Diamond Club that is the rock hard soul of everything that we've ever done, and was something that like I only realize now in this like phase of the process that like I just want to take a moment to say to everybody how much I care about your time and effort and passion to supporting the shit that we do, because it's something that we've done enough of these projects that I kind of take for granted on some level, and I should not, because you guys are fucking always there and you're always doing shit, and it means the world to me. And beyond that, I've gotten a couple emails of people that are like, "Oh, I've been listening since NSFW show, but I'm never in the chat. I'm never there. I fucking hate politics, but god damn it if I wasn't totally in it." Like, I got an email from or text from a friend of mine who literally got ulcers when Trump got elected. Like, she got
Aw.
diagnosable, like, went to the fucking, like, doctor ass ulcers that she had to deal with, and she finds history boring as shit, but she fucking downloaded the episode and gave it like a little spin to get into it, and then went through the whole thing and was like, "Hey, look, you know that I wouldn't bullshit you. I was downloading it to be supportive, and I tried it out, and I got through the whole thing, and I'm excited for the next one." And that's like shit that I have never heard in my life about any project that I've ever done, because by and large, comedy is subjective, right? Like, and so prior to comedy, my biggest professional successes were in, like, you know, journalism that nobody ever read because it was local, and then magic, which nobody pays attention to except for magicians. This is the first time that I've ever done anything that, like, kind of had a broader appeal. And granted, it does have the subsections of politics and history on it, but it's been one of the most creatively rewarding days of my life, and that's before we go into a show that I know is going to be fucking amazing. So that's where I am, kind of like emotionally right now.
That's
Man,
so sweet.
I'm feeling primed. Are you feeling primed?
Oh, shit.
Yes, prime to go pee. So
Okay,
fucking tap.
you prime that pump.
Wow. Yeah.
Speaking of, never mind.
Yeah. Oh no. Go ahead.
No,
You got it.
no. Speaking of pumps, I would like to dig a well.
I've
Hi-
heard that. You
hi,
have
Bonnie.
mentioned that.
Hi. How are you? Are you digging a well or a hole?
6 of one, half dozen another. Oh my
Right.
God.
Just getting that clear.
Oh, how was today?
Oh, I have 3 daughters.
He.
Yeah. It was great.
I mean, I
No.
took one to and from school today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
She's really funny.
Yeah, she's
We should talk about.
wicked funny.
Okay, chat realm. Please don't let us end the show without talking about our D&D campaign.
Oh, it was great. It was super great. Callie,
Yeah.
man, she gets this look in her eye. She tells you a joke, and she has a naughty look. Like she's like, like, her favorite thing now is the mom, say I.
Oh,
I spell cup. And then you spell cup. And
CUP.
yeah, and then this look.
I might have been there. I
man.
might have been there when we all taught her that.
Yeah.
And then did she have you say
It's kind of a
lettuce?
kludgy way to do that joke.
And then,
It's kind of a.
Well, the original way was that she was taught was spell I cup, and
Yeah.
it's like ICUP, and then we're see, that's the better construction.
So, anyways,
Sorry, no all our headphones listening.
I just like, is she gonna have a show called Night Attack when she's a big kid? I'm just wondering. She has the same look I got when
Bonnie,
I was her age.
did you see that viral video of like road rage stuff that was going around? Yo, you
sure
didn't see that? I tweeted it out. I don't blame you if you missed it. I'm
I've
hoping
been
that
like
Bryce can
kind
find
of
it.
off.
No, that's fine. That's fine. There was a viral
the grid
video
and all
that
that.
recently hit 1.4 million views.
Oh, my God.
And it's a collection of like 10 road rage incidents. Tell me if you noticed anything interesting about the first of these 10 hilarious road rage incidents.
Okay. Oh well, yeah.
Here we go.
Here we are.
All right.
Madman tries
Here we
to
go.
get
of the
me.
bunch looks an awful lot like Christian Bale.
Wait, is that you?
Looks like Batman, or certainly the stereotype, or the archetype of Bruce Wayne as an adult. We are seeing some version
What did you notice? Body.
Wait, that was your voice, wasn't it?
Go on. You've almost got it.
Wait, what was it? Was it a podcast or something playing while the person was driving, or you weren't commenting on it, or?
Yeah,
No,
Brian
I
was in the
not
car.
In the car while this happened.
Brian was in the car. He's got the best poker face in the business. He just sees a car crash and doesn't. No, yeah, someone was listening to Cord Killers.
That's my review
Yeah.
for Joker. that somebody was listening to. That as they happen to watch this crash.
Oh my god!
I thought that was amazing.
Well, I wasn't listening to the words because I was like, nah, that's not Brian's voice. Really sounds like Brian's voice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. How funny. So, that was just out there. It had how many views?
I don't know, 1.4 million. In fact, I got to give a
thumbs
at
up to
Mr.
that.
Ken 3235 is the one who brought that to our attention. Thank you very much, Ken.
Wow, that's hilarious. And you know why it got so many reviews is because of that. Your review. Your review got the views for that road rage.
Justin, did you see that?
See what?
Earlier today, Ken Cohen, longtime fan, Diamond Club member, was he brought to our attention some viral video of like 10 road rage incidents, and the first one, I happen to be what the dash cam driver is listening to as a crash happens in front of him. Did you see this?
I saw amongst your Twitter feed something to that effect, but it's been a very busy day for my Twitter. So
Name one thing you've been doing today, sir. At any rate, no, it's one thing. It's weird. It's you of course want to see your stuff explode, and you're happy when your fans are sharing it or whatever. But there are those very rare moments where you truly feel like you encounter whatever level of influence you have in the wild, and that was one of them for me, where it's like, this is a 1.4 million viral video of nothing but road rage incidents. And in the very first one, it happens to be mid-review of Joker from me. Talking about whether or not...
Wait, can I hear this?
Yeah.
Can I see
Here, Bryce will throw it up for you.
Yeah, sorry. Here we go. Everybody, we're gonna. You can.
Ringleader of the bunch looks an awful lot like Christian Bale. It looks like Batman, or certainly the stereotype, or the archetype of Bruce Wayne as an adult. We are seeing some version.
By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about that scene in the Joker where he takes on the three Wall Street boys.
Spoiler alert.
And I was, spoiler alert, the ringleader of the bunch bears I think, not accidental resemblance to Christian Bale's representation of Bruce Wayne.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm glad our listener didn't get in the wreck.
Yeah, no, he was the good guy. He was the Joker of this scenario.
What?
Wait, I'm sorry. Who? What?
All right. We gotta do a show. So
Let's do a show. And I'm not going to look at Twitter the entire time.
Don't
Swear.
look at it even.
Swear.
Delete it from your phone. You remember when you didn't have it on your phone? That seemed like it was a fun time.
No, Bryce, those are the dark times. And
Those are dark times. Oh.
to enlightenment.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, because like now it's business. I can write all this off on my taxes, like being obsessed with Twitter, because now I have a project and it's launching and
Before that, you weren't really doing anything. You were just kind of hitchhiking around.
Used to be a playground. Then he figured out he could give away free samples of his podcast and eventually get all the youngsters to give him money. Yes.
Well, like today's I think. Did I talk to you earlier today, Brian, or was that yesterday?
You got any gum?
The worst memory between two men. You don't know if you talked to each other today.
That's actually a true and startling fact. But there was a point in which I made the comment to Brian, whether it was yesterday or today, where I'm like, my job today is retweeting praise. That's pretty much,
yeah. Yeah,
Like
I
that's
definitely
pretty much
remember
all
that.
I'm doing is that I'm looking at people who are enjoying the show and I'm retweeting it to create social proof. I am like, no shame, no line. It is full Lil B. Like I'm just dominating everyone who follows me's timeline with unrestrained praise for my project.
All right.
Also, in defense of both Justin and I, we pay extraordinary attention to what we say, which means we have nothing left in the budget to pay attention to who we say it to. We're too busy crafting gems to worry about who has which gem,
if you have
including each other.
if you have a,
Also in our defense, we have bad memories.
if you have an example of some of these gems, send them in. Mail at nightattack.tv. I'd love to see some of the gems that they're.
If you send the same fucking email week after week until we notice, we eventually probably won't. In fact, somebody will just tweet. I can't believe they keep doing
that was the most unkind thing Bryce has ever done in the history of the podcast. Like just taken I assume an elder care facility where it's just like, this is literally the note he wrote me yesterday. I'm gonna say I wrote it to him and then handed it back.
BioGo says, in their defense, they're often drunk. Boy, I wish we could write that off.
All right, let's do the show. We're gonna do a show. All right.